Hi guys. Right, let's start. Hi girls, welcome back to another episode of Girls Like Me. Today I am going to be discussing a topic because I feel like a lot of the solo episodes that I've done are very like healing, personal development, and they've been a little bit softer and calmer. And I feel like with this one, I also wanted to bring the different side because I'm not just one person. And today we're going to be speaking about confidence. I've had a lot of you DM me in terms of how to build confidence, how can you speak, how can you this, how can you that. So I thought let's dive into it and just start discussing obviously confidence. Where I'm going to start is with some of the questions that you guys have been asking me in DMs, or people are like, you know, how do you do it? How do you speak to people? You come across really well, you speak really well. And first of all, what I just want to say to you guys is the version that you see of me today is literally not who I was a few years ago. It takes time, it takes practice, like be patient with it as well. So if you are watching this and you're generally here because you want to grow your self-confidence, then welcome. But yeah, I think self-confidence is just, you know, that girl energy. And I'm not going to lie, I've always had a bit of that girl energy, always. I think the girls like me, and this is why I call the podcast The Girls Like Me, because the girls like me know, even if you're not who you are right now, because I feel like I'm stepping into that, but I knew back then, even when my self-confidence was low, that I was still that girl. And that's the energy that you need to bring to it. And I think with self-confidence, sometimes I don't even feel confident, I'll be honest with you, but the way that people are, or that they say that I am confident, I'm like, oh, maybe I am, or maybe I don't know. But I wanted to give you guys some realistic insight into my journey with self-confidence, what that's actually looked like, you know, little practices that I've been doing. So first of all, I'm going to start off with me probably about 3 years ago. So as I did my previous episode on about, you know, how I've grown as a person over the past year and stuff. But I don't just want you guys to sit there and think that this has been a result of the past year, because it's not. It's been probably the result of like 3-4 years in the making. I'd probably say since I was like 19, 20, that's when I made the decision and I was like, this is the route that I'm going to go down of. So yeah, I think before, obviously, I was very overweight. Well, I won't say very overweight, but I was a chubby girl. I've always been a chubby girl. Like I've got chubby cheeks. I'm just that kid. And people would say that I was a little bit confident, but I actually wasn't as confident growing up. Like there's certain things that I would never do, like even to the point of when I was at school, I really wanted to ride a bike to school. I never rode a bike because I was that scared that people would be judging me or looking at me or thinking that I ride a bike weird. And for me to actually say that out loud on a podcast now, I sit there and I think, what am I on about? Like, what a loser. Why did I have these thoughts in my head? Because who really cared if I rode my bike to school at 8 o'clock in the morning? And I just sit there, like, even to the point of headphones, like, I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but I've got like a proper egg head. So you can see like I've got a really round egg head. It's really cute. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, like wearing earphones, I feel like I used to be really self-conscious of that. And I really wanted some like headphones for years. And I never ever wore them because I thought people would think that I look funny, or I felt like I look funny. Now I wear my headphones every day. I wear them into work. I wear them at the gym. Like I just don't care. And even little stuff like I used to see people, do you know people that would sing and dance like on the street or sing out loud like in front of people? That would never ever ever be me. But now, do you know, like when I'm walking down the street or I've got my headphones on and I'm like vibing or what, I don't care. You're going to see me dance at the bus stop. I generally don't care. You're going to see me dance. You're going to see me sing because I don't care. So it's just little stuff like that. But I think I have definitely come a long way. Even if you did think, if you know me and you did think that I was, you know, a bit confident, I feel like I've definitely come a long way with self-confidence. But it's just from doing like small baby steps. So in terms of the way that I also viewed myself back then, it was more of a, it's hard because I'm in between, like, I was in between what would people think and not giving a fuck. Like, I feel like I'm that happy, I was that happy medium of like, oh yeah, but then, oh no. And I think slowly, I've just grown out of that, what do they think? So myself, obviously, I've spoke about my weight, which also didn't help because I felt like, you know, the way that you look and feel is everything. When you, like, this version of me feels so much more confident. And number one, because I really like clothes, like I love fashion, and I just feel like I was that girl that wasn't able to wear certain things that I'd imagined in my head because of my weight, or it wouldn't look right, or whatever else that I've had. So definitely, like, health and fitness has helped me a long way. But in terms of confidence, like the way that I speak, being able to speak in front of people, being able to present, that kind of thing, it has literally come from starting. And I said I've not failed at anything, but yeah, I would class some of those as a failure, because if I was to watch them back now, I would be so embarrassed. But yeah, I've already spoke on the podcast about me having sweaty hands. See this, girls? I have no sweaty hands now. First podcast episode that got released because a certain someone editor didn't send me the proper one. The first 5 minutes of it was me speaking about my sweaty hands. I don't know why, and I don't know if I should be saying this on the podcast, but yeah, I have sweaty hands and I have sweaty feet. So when I'm stressed, like, my hands will look like they've got water on, and my feet are the same. And I remember my first time actually, like, presenting, I wore high heels. And you can imagine how like sweaty my feet were. They were like soaking. My hands were, my upper lip was, like, it was all going on. And just the way that I spoke, it just wasn't confident, like, at all. But I think over time, I started to do it in smaller groups and then building it up. And I'm always the type of person that, like, I will give it a go. So I remember there were certain times where there's like 200-300 people in the room, and I'm like, do you know what? I think it was more fueled by the fact that I was just like, I'm going to change my life. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to change my life and I'm going to achieve my goals. I think that was what was fueling my confidence. So also having that self-belief and the self-confidence, I feel like they go hand in hand. So yeah, I was just so determined that I was going to change my life. I was like, you are going to hear me and you are going to know me. So I remember going to, like, even the first few property events that I went to, I was like, I don't care. You're going to know who Aalimah Hughes is when I leave the room. And you know what? A lot of people that I met through those events, they're still, like, friends with me, or they still remember me and they still know my name and stuff like that. So it's really, really cute. But the confidence level of me speaking and stuff and presenting was absolutely awful, guys. Like, it was shocking. So yeah, I think it's just doing, like, those slow steps to increase your confidence. And number one, I would probably say, is looking like who you want to look like is a very big aspect of self-confidence. We're all going to have that, different interpretations of that as girls. Like, my interpretation and my dream body, the way that I look, the way that I talk, the way that I speak. So if you can, vision boards are really, really helpful. I'm a vision board girly. I've spoke about this so much. Being able to have a vision board with who you are and what you would like to look like, it just really helps. So, like I mentioned before, my last episode, I have my nails on there. I have my future body on there, because I'm not fully there right now. What does my hair look like? What kind of clothes do I look like? What kind of this and that do I look like? And I feel like slowly I'm starting to build it, starting to build that in my wardrobe, starting to build that in my daily practices, and just becoming that confident version, even to the point where it's like, getting ready for work and stuff. Before, I think in previous roles, I'd be like, oh, I don't really care, I'm going to work, I don't really care who sees me or whatever else. But just taking that extra 10-15 minutes in the morning to put yourself together really helps, because I don't care who you are. And the girls like me are going to know. I don't care who you are, what book you read, how you look is how you feel. And you know that because when you put a banging outfit on and you feel like you look good, and you know people are looking at you, or they like your outfit or whatever else, it's those days where you feel most confident. So there you go. How you look is how you feel. That's probably number one. Really manifest that. Really dig deep with that. Like, what is it actually that you want to look like and dress like? And to be honest with you guys, that is something that I struggled with over the past year. So especially like with Instagram and social media, I thought that I would have to be this like monochrome, is that the word? Like monochrome neutral, even though I love neutrals, like that to be my like style. And I want to do that some days. and some days in the office I am, maybe one day on the weekend, but I also love colour. Like, I don't know if it's my skin tone, but I just love like blues and oranges and pinks and all these bright colours, and I've always been like that since a kid. And I feel like this year I've said to myself, I'm just being true to myself. So even if it doesn't always fit the, Instagram aesthetic, that's me being self-confident because I'm true within myself and I know that's what I envision for myself, and I'm not going along with anyone else's vision. That's number one. In terms of the second one, I know I've spoke about the way that you look, but I think the second one is going to be health and fitness. Like, honestly, girls, if you are really looking to change your life and really grow your self-confidence, and I'm not just on about weight, because fuck the weight, like weight loss, you're going to see everyone going on about, oh, you need to be skinny, you need to this, you need to, fuck the weight loss, because for me, it's more about what I envision as my body goal. So I'm probably the skinniest that I've ever been now, but I know that my dream body is to put on weight because I'm going to build a bum. Like, I'm going to build muscle. Like, muscle weighs more. So this whole, you have to be skinny, you have to, fuck that. What is it that you want? And also the practices of your health and your this and your that. It's the daily routine. Like, me waking up in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and going to the gym, when I finish that workout, I feel so confident in myself that I am gonna kill the day because I've already done it. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't speak to me. I've been to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I know that there is this whole thing about like 5 o'clock in the morning people being up their own arse. It's not that. It's just more of a sense of like, I made this promise to myself and I kept this promise to myself, and I think I'm that girl now because I've made that promise to myself. And I don't care who you are or, what you're doing or whatever else it is. I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock when in my brain mentally I told myself to stay in bed, and I still got up and I did what I needed to do. And it's also like through my health and fitness, I've started to buy like one cute gym set per month. So when I went to Miami, I mentioned that I went to like a really, really cute gym, like probably the nicest gym, and everyone was in like this expensive gym wear, just like what I envision myself, like all these aloe yoga girls and I was just there like obviously in my cute little PLT set because that's what I can afford. And yeah, I would say building that up slowly. So like buying one cute gym set per month, making sure that you look cute in the gym, like, it's just really, really nice because I'm sorry, the biker shorts and the baggy t-shirt is good for so long, but it doesn't make you feel sexy, girls. It doesn't make you feel confident. And I feel like if you are looking for confidence in the gym, I'm sorry, but just buy the gym set. Just get it over and done with, because even like me, I get so many compliments. Even yesterday, they was like, oh, I really, really like your gym set. I was like, thanks, from PLT. And it's just like, it's not even that deep. It's not even that expensive, but just the way you like look and feel in the gym is so great. But I think with that, the biggest thing from the gym is the health benefits. It's the sticking to the routine. It's sticking to your daily promises. And I promise you, girls, that you need to get on the gym and on your health if you do want to be more confident. That's number one. If you're not going to focus on your health and your fitness and your this, then this is the wrong podcast for you, and this is like the wrong video for you, because I'm telling you, once you prioritize your health and your body and your mindset, the things that it will do for your confidence and self-belief is just incredible. I can't even get my words out. Incredible, it is. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for that. I think that's definitely helped me. And also it's like the bit that people don't speak about, obviously I know you've mentioned like you feel it, but you can feel within yourself when you look like how you want to look. And I'm not fully there yet, but I'm not too far away. And I would say like there's slight changes and stuff that I'm working on, and I know that my dream body is going to take like a few years. Like the vision of myself isn't like an overnight process, because I'm not someone that believes anymore that, oh, I'm going to lose a bit of weight for summer. Like, summer's here, fuck the summer body, it doesn't matter. Like, I am training for life. Like, I'm training to be a sexy mum, a sexy wife. Like, I just want to be the Pilates mum, and they're like, oh my God, that is your wife, or like, oh my God, that is your mum. Yeah, of course, I'm Aalimah. That's what I look like. Thank you. So yeah, that's that. And then I think in terms of like confidence, some steps that you can do if you generally do want to increase it, if that's the way that you speak, if that is the way that you speak to people or present and stuff like that, what I will say to you is having a bit of a plan in mind. Oh, I'm starting to lose the feeling in my foot. having a plan in mind of what having a plan in mind of what you are going to present or what it is that you're going to say. And this, for me, started off probably like in uni or college. You know, when you got to do those awful presentations for uni and you really don't want to do it and you've literally made you one card and you read it like this. This is how I used to present. I used to read off my card, not even look up, not even anything. And then slowly I transitioned. And I think that started to grow my self-confidence a little bit, because I'll be honest with you guys, in last year of uni, I went to university once in my final year. That university did not see me. My absence levels were very high because I had a full-time job. I started my business, whatever else. I went to this one lecture because all my other like modules and stuff, they were exams or whatever else. I didn't need to go in. But this one module had a presentation. Awful. I wrote the presentation on the train to Birmingham, like on the day, because I was that unorganised with anything come to uni. I was just done with uni. When I'm telling you I got the information from BBC Bitesize, yeah, I hope no one from my university ever watches this. I got the information from BBC Bitesize on the way to my uni. This is third year, yeah. This is gonna be towards my final grade. So I'd written the card, but I'm telling you now, because my confidence had increased and obviously I'd started on my personal development journey, I looked that lecturer in her eye the whole of my conversation. Yeah, she said to me as well when I walked in, she was like, "I've never met you before." And I was like, "Yeah, you know, I've been a little bit unwell, so I've not been able to make the lectures or whatever else." Just bullshitted some story to her. I looked her dead in her eye, my whole presentation, and I got a first on that. And the people next to me who knew every single fact, because it was a politics module as well, they knew everything. And I was sat there thinking, what the fuck is going on? I walked out that knowing that I failed. And when she gave me a first, I was like, what? And the people that knew the facts, they actually got lower than me, and I was just astounded. But at the end of the day, it's a presentation. How do you interact? Because sometimes a lot of the presentations that I do, it's not even the information, it's how you say it, how you come across. And I think that's what you need to realise. So eye contact is a really, really big thing. When I went to a personal development course, there was actually like a little bit of a challenge about eye contact. So you had to actually look someone in the eye. So you had to look them in the eye for 1 minute, then it was 2 minutes, then it was 4 minutes, then it was 5 minutes, and then it was like 10 minutes. And I'm telling you now, my eyes were burning, and it was the most uncomfortable thing that I've ever done in my life. And by the end of it now, I can look people in the eye when I'm speaking to them, and it doesn't matter if they're a woman or a man, because sometimes, girls, I'll be honest with you, I used to feel a little bit intimidated to be around men, especially like if you're a girl that's trying to increase her self-confidence in business. I would really struggle to hold eye contact with men. Like, I just couldn't do it, and I don't know why. Now, when I'm presenting, or if I've got a client, or if there's an old landlord, I'm going to look you in your eye, and you're going to know that I'm Aalimah Hughes, and you're going to know how I present and how I speak, because I'm just a lot more confident in the way that I come across. And that happens over time. But if you were to meet me 3 years ago, I swear to God, I used to go to even property viewings with landlords who are men, and they're speaking and I'm looking away, like I'm looking out the window or God knows what, because I just struggle to make that eye contact or look at the floor. So how can you do that? What is it in your control? If that means getting you and your homegirl together and you two just sat there staring in each other's eyes for a little bit to try and grow that confidence, then do it. But I'm telling you girls, that tip will really, really help. Being confident in what you're saying as well is another thing. So sometimes if you are presenting or if you are speaking about something, whether it's work, relationships, you want to have an honest conversation. You know, I struggle with confidence. I've had God knows how many honest conversations last weekend. I feel so relieved. It's unbelievable. Just actually having the confidence that what you're saying is your truth. And because when you are being real and it is your truth, it comes across very free and very like confident. Whereas if you're kind of, you know, talking a bit of shit, you don't really know what you're on about, you don't really believe it, it's hard. But I think when it comes to yourself or trying to sell yourself, that is something that I used to struggle with, and especially in sales. So like my sales used to suck. That's why I said that I got a sale role now, and I'm actually making small progress. I actually got converted a new client today, which was really, really good, and I got my new personal best as well. So what I would say in terms of like selling is it's the small things, like the eye contact is going to be a big thing. Number one, girls, you need to, I don't care what it takes, you need to convince yourself that whatever it is you're selling, whether that is a product, whether that is yourself, whether that is your eyelashes, that they are the best, because personally, me, I know that I am the best. Even when I go and speak to a landlord now, I'm like, no one's going to give this level of care to a property that I'm going to give to the property. No one is going to do it this way, because I really believe in it. Even down to the fact of when I was selling my candles, which I did when I was 18. So I don't know if I've ever spoke about that on the podcast. My first ever like entrepreneurial little thing was me selling candles. So I used to make homemade candles. I used to import this wax from Australia. It was really, really good, expensive soy wax, yeah? And at the time, it was the same wax, because obviously I did all my research. It was the same wax that another business was selling. Her name is Made by Yasmin, I think it is. And her candles are like 50 quid. In terms of like the level of fragrance oil as well, I was putting them at like 12%, whereas the ones that you'll buy in Primark, Asda and whatever else, they're 4%. Now, people were telling me, they're too expensive, they're this, they're that. Do you think I ever told anyone that my candles are not it? And still to this day, I still get people asking me, Lima, can you make me some candles? And for certain friends and family, I will make them their candles. And from this day, I've only used my own candles in my house. But even then, I was so confident in the product that I was selling, because it was a good product. It was a good product. It was made from good things. It was like, compared to, it was exactly the same thing that someone else was selling. It was just a little bit cheaper. So in terms of that, being confident in what you are. And I think, especially on property, girls, like I have come such a long way, because I remember, it's really, really embarrassing, and I shouldn't even be saying this, but obviously you're the girl, so I got to share. When I first was like getting involved in property and stuff, I think I've mentioned like I was crying and stuff, like about why no one wanted to work with me. And I think slowly, it's not them rejecting you or any kind of sales or anything like that. They're not rejecting you personally, they're rejecting whatever product it was. And at the time, my product was myself, and I didn't believe in myself. That's what it came down to. I didn't believe that I could actually manage all these properties, or I was worth like, why are you going to pick me, go and pick someone else, or I don't understand. But I think slowly, as you build that up and you start to believe in yourself and your product, which is yourself. And I have tried to do this through increasing my value. So that is something that I'm really, really going to say is going to help you on your confidence. Look at, when you are trying to sell yourself or sell your product or increase your confidence, what is your value? So when it comes to your value, what is it that you do? Why should people buy into you? Why should people communicate with you? Why should they buy from you? What is it? And I think actually coming from a point of, I may not be the best now, but I'm going to work really hard, get the information, do the research, whether that's doing the course, spending a bit of time, whatever it is, and increasing your value. And I think that's really, really important, girls. So some of the ways that I've actually increased my value, number one, I took training courses. And then I also got experience with it as well. So I was managing a few properties for not as high management fee at the time, because I really didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my product. So I did that, gained the experience. And then after that, I did that like to increase my value. So now you're going to pay me full price, period. Like, and I don't even mean that to be cocky. It's like, I know from those clients that I've had and like other feedback that you are going to pay me full price, because I am worth every single penny when it comes to that, because I offer a really, really good service. And also it's like I put my heart and soul into something. Like even when it comes to people's properties, I've declined certain properties. If you're not in alignment to me and my business because of the way that they look, I'm very big on, especially in the property world, a lot of people are just making shit essentially for money. And I'm someone, if I personally wouldn't lay my head there and sleep there, you're not going to find me there. And also I'm not managing your property. And there's been a few people that have approached me on the property management side, like, can you manage my property? And for me, I'd rather you not even have that on my reputation, and it's not even worth the money, because it just looks awful. I wouldn't sleep there. And I don't know how to say that, but I just literally declined it. So I think just believing in your product and being true to yourself, and that it's in alignment to you, is really, really going to increase your value. who you are. So obviously your skill set and all of that, whether you feel like you're being underpaid or whatever it is, move to a different sector. If you want to go and make more money, how can you make yourself someone who is worth more money and a higher value person? So you see a lot of people or a lot of videos, and I watch some of them myself as well on YouTube, like becoming a high value woman, how to become a high value woman, step one, this, step that. It's actually true. How are you going to make yourself increase in value and become a high value woman? So for me, it's obviously through the way that I look, my skill set. So whether that is, it can be qualifications. I'm not really asked. I've got a degree, but I don't really plan on using it, but more like knowledge. I think knowledge is absolutely everything out there. And I think especially for myself on my journey, you can never know it all. So having the ability to constantly learn and just slowly progress is really, really good. Having the knowledge, the way that you look, the way that you talk, and then also it's like through your daily practices as well. Increase your value through your daily practices. So I'm someone now, people think that I'm this positive person and I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning and I feel great. No, that's not the case. But I've come to a point now where I just get it done. Like day to day, I just get it done. They're like, oh, are you not tired of working on the weekend? Are you not tired of like doing your whatever else? And I'm just like, no, because it's just my routine. And I think when you are someone day in, day out, who sticks to what they do, whether that's business or whatever else it is, like you guys on Instagram will see my day-to-day journey and what I get up to. That also increases your value, because when people are watching you, or number one, it increases your value to yourself because you actually stick to what you say you're going to do. But I think it increases your value to other people because they'll be like, yeah, Aalimah's really on that. Aalimah's actually like trying to do this. Aalimah's doing this every day, or Aalimah's actually going to the gym when she says she's going to go to the gym. Like people can see it. And I think by you sharing that, if you are someone who is, you know, building your social media or whatever it is, or just general confidence, people around you will start to see that and they'll see the difference in you too. So increasing your value through these little tips that I've gave you girls, they are gems, so make sure that you are using them. The last thing that I wanted to really speak about in terms of increasing your confidence is your mindset and self-belief system. I know I've kind of dived into this a little bit, but a lot of the time when we have blockages with our confidence or with our self-beliefs, it's always to do with our mindset. So I will be really personal and honest and upfront because I'm always honest with you girls. For probably the past 2 years, I have been having blockages about my self-confidence, my sales and everything, in terms of the amount of money that I can earn. So, and it's more because I didn't think that I was worth the money, to be honest. Like if someone said, oh, you're going to make 10k per month, old me would have sat there and thought, nah, like that's no chance. Like I'm going to be a baller if I make 10 grand a month. And now I'm sat there like, yeah, 10 grand a month is not actually that deep. Like it's not it. I want more, or I want this. So I think really training yourself in terms of your mindset. So certain things that I do, I'll listen to podcasts. So if you are here, this is the right place for you. I also listen to like meditation and motivational speeches and stuff like that. Like if I'm feeling really like I need a mindset change, like I need to, that's really, really big. And I think number one, what I'm going to say is make sure you have confident friends. And when I say confident, this can be a little bit tricky with the girls because there's certain girls that you will find that will dip off because they think that you're up your own arse. And that has happened to me a lot. And I think over the past year, I'm like, as a girl, as a woman, I don't generally give a fuck whether you think I'm up my own arse because I'm trying to increase my confidence or whatever it is. Because as women, I don't know if this is a bit of a weird thing to say, but as women, any girl, I don't care who it is, that has a problem with you being confident, that has a problem with you like putting yourself out there, trying something, and they have negative things to say about it, that is just a reflection of themselves. They're not happy within themselves and they're not confident, and deep down they wish that it was them that could be it. And it's like now I look at my circle and it's full of such confident women. Like my friends are so confident. We're all kind of like on the same vibe, or people that I'll speak to on a day-to-day basis or interact with on social media, they are confident people. So it's like, make sure that if you are someone who really wants to level up as a female, make sure that the people around you want to level up as well, because I'm sorry, but I'm all for you can, you know, go somewhere by yourself, but you can't always do everything by yourself. Like who you surround yourself with and your mindset is really important. But as women, some girls are very bitchy, and I've always been the person that's like kept myself to myself, and I've had like a few friends, but a lot of people know me kind of vibe. And I do have a lot of friends, but I think the friends now I'm choosing, like I'm choosing it, whether you're my friend or not, because I'm sorry, I'm 24 years old. Thank you. First podcast as a 24-year-old. Who has access to me is very important, and I'm becoming more and more picky with who has access to me, because my time is valuable. My time is very valuable, and I really do value myself now and my time. So it's like, I don't want to be interacting with people who are not going to make me feel good. I'm not going to be interacting with people who are doing the same thing day in and day out. I'm not going to be interacting with people who are not as confident or not as this. And it's not to say that, you know, if you're not confident, I'm not going to speak to you or not be your friend. It's not that, because I do have time for a lot of people. But I think in the sense of day in and day out, who I fill my mind with, because the mindset from me not being able to achieve 10k, and in my mind I didn't think I was worth it, to the mindset that I have now, over the past few months, I spend at least 10 minutes a day with myself, like, Aalimah, how are we going to do this? Because every day I don't wake up and think that I'm going to be like making six figures next year. And I tell myself every day now, you will be making six figures as a minimum. And it's like, before I would feel, again, with my self-belief and confidence, to say that out loud to people, that minimum I'm going to make is six figures, like that's going to be changed to me in a few years. It's really, really big. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to say that, or oh, I don't want to sound like. Who actually gives a fuck? I don't care what it takes, who's around me, who needs to hear it, but next year I am making six figures as a minimum, because that's what I'm going to do. So in terms of me being confident to say that, I would have never said that on a podcast before. You must have been mad. But to be able to say that now, it's something that I believe, and it's like I'm training myself. So day in and day out, on top of the physical, on top of the focusing, you know, on my fitness, on my diet, on the way that I look, it's also the mindset. So day in and day out, actually sit there and have 10 minutes with yourself, just to kind of, I use the word brainwashing, and I don't know if that's like the proper spiritual thing. It's not, but essentially I am brainwashing myself. And I realise this because everything that I want, I get. And I didn't want the 10k a month. 10k a month isn't even six figures, is it? That's going off 10 months. My maths is really not maths in there. I don't know what that is. Like, I think it's 8 point something, which is not enough, but I'm going to say 10k per month, which is 120. Yeah, there we go. So that's that. But I think just really focusing on that, really brainwashing yourself, becoming obsessed with it as well, and just becoming obsessed with yourself. Like, big up yourself all the time. Like, okay, you might not be perfect, you might not be where you want to be, but just having that confidence and that attitude that I don't give a fuck, like, I'm going to do it, I am going to better myself, I'm going to have that mindset, and whether you like it or not, or whether you're in my life or not, it is what it is, done, period. And I think when it comes to confidence, don't be scared to try different things, whether that is with your style, whether that is whatever. Like, don't be scared to reinvent yourself and recreate yourself. I think I've always been like, a lot of people say Liam's has always just been Liam's, but in terms of like me creating myself, like, I'm just trying to create the most sexiest, richest, wealthiest like version of myself. Like, that's what it is. And I don't care whether you think I'm up my own arse or whether that comes across as bad, because the girls like me, which is why I made this podcast, will understand, because we're going to be on the journey together. So if you are on this journey and you are in it for the long run, then congratulations, and I'm glad that you're here. I hope you found the tips valuable. Try out the eye contact thing as well, because that really, really helped. And especially as women interacting with men, it can be very hard. So definitely do that. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I hope this episode was obviously really, really helpful. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to comment, let me know your comments. If you have any other tips for me confidence wise as well, let me know. I would be really keen to hear. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe on all the platforms. I will see you again soon. Bye.